Issues around insecurity formed the point of discussion at Wednesday's meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum.
The governors who resolved to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari over the worsening security situation across the country say they still await the president's response to their complaints on last week's attack on Babagana Zulum, the governor of Borno State. On Tuesday, President Buhari ordered a rejig of Nigeria's security strategy.
All right, joining us now on Skype to discuss this is Captain Umar Babangida, retired, CEO Gold, Water and River Sand Consults. It's nice to have you join us, Captain. Now, the issue of security has been on the front burner for so many years now, and the recent wave is quite concerning to Nigerians after there was several months of feeling that it has simmered down a little bit. I wonder what concerns you have now that the convoy of the governor of Borno State was attacked. It seems drawing attention to VIPs now and all of that. What do you make of this?
Basically, what you can draw from that is what I have always said for the past 6 years. The trend on my database indicates the criminals are getting bolder. If you look at the events as they have occurred, you will discover that over a period of the last 4 or 5 years, the activities of these criminals have been more daring and bolder as the days unfold, while our security agencies are somewhat more on the defensive. The criminals are somewhat more on the offensive. Government, on the other hand, at the state levels, are more or less begging the situation or the problem when they offer all manner of palliatives and dialogue and diplomacy to bandits and criminals who definitely have no regards for these things.
So are you saying that the government shouldn't have engaged in such discussions and that has actually emboldened them to take steps that we are seeing at this point?
For the past 11 years, what has these engagements amounted to? The dialoguing, the diplomaticking, the amnestying. It has not amounted to much. These people have no reckoning for the state, and they will get bolder by the day. We tend to develop cold food when it comes to taking on these people head on. As in head on. These are not people how do we say it now? These are not people you really dialogue with. The options for dialogue have been burnt. They've all been burnt out. We have a history of dialogues, of ceasefires, of what have you. They just do it when they are cornered and want to buy time. And for crying out loud, with an armed forces on ground, I don't see why we should take 11 years running after village boys, locals, to come to the table and dialogue. If not for one reason, we don't know what to do, and we're using serious resources to do that.
All right, now from the reports we get, it seems countries like Chad and Niger and even Cameroon are winning the war. They are decisive, and we see when their army or their security agencies go out, we get reports of successes and all of that. Nigeria, from the records we have and from all the reports we have, Nigeria is far ahead when it comes to capacity, experience and professionalism in all ramifications. But Nigeria doesn't seem to win the war as much as some of these other countries, neighboring countries.
Well, your reports could claim we're far ahead, but the results on ground do not claim we're far ahead. The one-day strike, which the Chadian president led himself, and what the results were, we have not grossed that in 11 years. Go check it out if you doubt what I'm saying. The weapons captured, the insurgents killed, we haven't grossed that in 1 year. And when you look on the aggregate at the equipment and the capacity and readiness levels of the Chadian army, you find out that there are a greater dilution of what ours is. So if they could do that and we can't, then definitely you should be seeing the fact that our president is not results driven. That's just the problem. And whoever the service chiefs are, regardless, whether these ones or another set, they're going to take cue from him. The president is not results driven. Rather than give service chiefs timelines and performance indicators, he's talking to them about rejigging. How do you rejig? How do you re-engineer with old engineers? It's not logical.
So now that the president is calling for a rejigging 5 years into his administration, some have said that this call is coming a little too late. I wonder if you share the same view with those who are saying this.
The call is even not within the president's, how do I put it now? It's not within the president's purview to make. All the president needs is to ask for results. Having asked for results, he allots the resources required to give results. How the service chiefs decide to do it, whether they want to rejig or unjig or whatever, it shouldn't be the president's concern. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is straightforward and simple.
Okay.
The president.
All right. The line was breaking earlier, but however, the point there is, as it is right now, we've heard the governor of Borno State talk about the issue of sabotage. Do you think this is one of the biggest problem or biggest challenge within the security outfit of Nigeria?
It's no challenge, more like an excuse. The governor is not making an excuse. The governor is actually saying it as it comes across to him. But let me assure you, wherever there is military operations of that magnanimity and capacity, there will be sabotage. Jesus Christ had a saboteur among his disciples. So did all the prophets. And that did not stop anything. They still went ahead to accomplish. So sabotage for me is simple. If they can sabotage us, it means we can also sabotage them.
The governor...
Okay, sabotage will not...
All right, go ahead. You can finish that point.
Sabotage will not deter us from doing what we want. If the governor feels sabotage, then it is actually an indictment on the quality of intelligence or counterintelligence within that area he was sabotaged.
Another thing the governor mentioned was the issue of lack of zeal. I wonder how you see that affecting efforts and results that Nigerians have been waiting to see over the years.
The lack of results or the low morale, as I told you, is basically because the president is not results driven. You see, when you set timelines and you have performance indicators, you burn out all the other shenanigans. Everybody becomes focused. The service chiefs are not cast in stone. The service chiefs are humans, and just like humans, generals have strengths and weaknesses. Some generals are assault pioneers, some generals are consolidators, some generals are stabilizers. Depending on their strengths, they are deployed on which or in which phase of war we are fighting. So basically, the service chiefs you see today, as at the time the president came in 2015, were brought in to rally around, regroup, and stabilize our troops. And that is what happened. That is what happened. Now they are done with that. What is left to be done is to look for either consolidators to consolidate on what they have been able to stabilize, or we look for assault pioneers to forge ahead to the next phase of this war. Military history is replete with examples. One general cannot pull a battle situation from beginning to end. It doesn't make sense. Maybe that used to happen during the Civil War, but certainly not on 2020 warfare earth.
All right. Thank you so much for this insight you've given to us now, Captain Umar Babangida, retired. Thank you for talking to us on TVC Breakfast.
You're welcome.
Right. Then we have him back now, Captain Babangida, on the line now. I was asking earlier, talking about what we see in the dailies, where Governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawalle, is talking about the lack of leadership in terms of socially and politically in the north, how it is impacting insecurity over there, and he's asking for a collaboration between monarchs and security in terms of intelligence gathering. I wonder what you make of this and how much impact it will have on the fight against insurgency in the north.
I tell you for a fact that intelligence itself cannot be gleaned off in any situation where the intelligence operative is not intelligent. Intelligence, the way I was trained and I know it, does not need the cooperation or compliance of monarchs to be gleaned off. If the intelligence agencies and operatives know what they are doing, they can sleep with any monarch. They can enter any monarch's life and even preempt what he does. They can even decide when and where and how he does it. So telling me that you need the cooperation of the populace and more, listen, way back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s, the colonial masters came here and loaded it over us and even built concentration camps of people in East Africa, the Mao Mao warriors, for example. You think they had the compliance of the monarchs and the locals to do that? And that was donkey years back. You don't need from no one to enter his life as an intelligence operative if you know your onions.
All right. So as it is right now, from the papers today, away from that, because there's a question I'm going to ask from that going ahead, but quickly let's touch on the latest report we are getting today that the U.S. alerting Nigeria that Al-Qaeda is infiltrating Nigeria from the northwest. How does this come to you, and how would this compound the situation we're trying to look at?
It comes to me as no surprise, and I'll tell you why. No sentiments here, just facts. There is a document, it's called Failed State 2030. Go Google it. Failed State 2030. Hillary Clinton was here to tell us that Nigeria will be a failed state by 2015. We laughed it off. Well, this is 2020, and I think the signs are critical to us today, except we want to deny it. The statelessness of our state is what makes the bandits, the insurgents, the criminals, the kidnappers bolder. Today they have even attacked a governor. Maybe tomorrow they will try a minister. What I'm saying is simple. Whatever we consider a setback is an inspiration to our enemies. And whatever they consider a setback is an inspiration to our own forces. So how many setbacks have we wrought upon them? And how many setbacks have they wrought upon us? You do the aggregates and tell me who should be older.
All right.
That is food for thought there.
Absolutely.
Great food for thought.
Captain Babangida, retired, thank you for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning.